Live from the Green Room Studios from the spacious property of Bates Nursery and Garden Center, 3810 Whites Creek Pike, it's the At Home Show with Josh Cary and David Bates.
Oh yeah! Everybody, calm down, calm down, calm down. It's a little boisterous in here this morning for the crew.
Well, this is the Between the 20 Ferns edition, maybe the 40 Ferns edition. You know, we don't want to be confused with Between the Two Ferns. We've got a bunch of them out here, and it's that time of year. We've got the warm temperatures. We've got the swelter. And it looks like we've got a little change coming up, which I think everyone can be okay with, Josh. And
I think we need some.
Today is Saturday. It's currently 78 degrees out here at Bates Nursery Station at Bates Nursery. 93 for the high today. So, again, pretty warm conditions. But as we move into the afternoon hours, the later afternoon hours, perhaps a chance of thunderstorms. We actually could use that right about now. When it's starting to get a little bit dry. And what we'll also receive with that chance of showers is cooler temperature, 70 degrees for the high tomorrow. That looks pretty welcome after a week of warmer than required weather. You know, things happen the way they happen. But so 70 for the high tomorrow, 59 for the overnight low. On Monday, 75. Mostly cloudy, and 60 for the overnight low. Tuesday, we warm up a bit, but only into the lower 80s. Scattered thunderstorms and maybe 0.2 of an inch of rain. That is entirely possible.
Oh, wow.
And
oh, my goodness and my gracious.
And while I can still concentrate.
Okay.
And scattered thunderstorms on Thursday as well. Maybe a half inch there. Could be more. They're saying maybe an inch and a half on Wednesday.
Oh, boy.
And this time next week, saying 83 and sunny conditions. So currently, again, it is 78 degrees here in the Music City, live from the Green Room. And we're... you never know what's going to
happen on the At Home Show.
You never do know. So
there was some interaction between myself and this special stranger that's walked through the door last night. Yeah. I didn't think that he would actually take up the challenge.
Oh, and do you want to clue us all in on what the challenge was?
Come see us.
Oh. So, and did you throw down the gauntlet with specificity of today?
Well, I said any time.
Well, this qualifies as any time.
Okay.
Pretend I'm not here.
No.
We're going to pretend he's not here. So, okay. Well, Greg Hall's in the studio. So, good morning, Greg. Great to see you. And we'll figure out how we're going to get him on here in just a minute. Or two or three.
Pull up some floor, Greg.
We didn't. Tyler's going, I had no idea. I don't know what to do.
Well.
Anyway, so
I can make things work.
We'll just work along here. And speaking of Tyler, that is Tyler Blankenship in the green shirted one here.
It's not official until we see the Tyler cam.
He's the guy that makes us.
There we go.
Makes us visible and audible, and we appreciate his efforts every week. And he tries in his best way to be able to try to keep us in line. That is difficult.
Or I'll mute you.
Yes.
This goes for me, too.
Okay, yes. So you better behave or you will mute you.
I muted myself last week. It felt great. I needed that.
Across the way in the studio,
yes,
we are proud to have Caroline Gant, Austin Lowen. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Welcome in. You've got that big
fern,
a big macho fern, it looks like, right in between.
We can put Greg right behind the macho fern.
He could stand behind it and just barely clear that. But yes, so we got a lot of things looking a lot like summer around the studio here, and I'm sure we'll be talking about that as we go through the program this morning.
Yes, absolutely we will. And then we are coming to you live from here at the Green Room Studios at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. Yep. We're on. I'm actually going to try to do multitasking today. I'm going to monitor the Facebook live feed. I've also opened a live chat at the YouTube channel. So if you guys want to go out there, please like, subscribe, ring bells, do everything you can out there and get it rolling on, and everything will be good to go for us. Oh, it has been hot.
It has been hot, and a lot of people one of the questions I get a lot from people that now that spring is over, I go, wait a minute, spring is not over.
No.
We've still got a month of spring left. And so don't shoo it away before it's time. Yes, it has been warm the last week, but
It's been dry.
it's been a little dry. Hopefully some of the precipitation conditions that we talked about in the forecast are going to materialize. And I know that people have a lot of questions out there on our social media connections. So we will, without further ado, we're going to pitch it over to Caroline. And good morning again. And what kind of questions you got cooking over there, young lady?
We have so many. Oh, my mic was muted. Tyler must be
Watch
mad at me.
yourself.
Whoa,
That's just
already.
that's just a warning is what that is.
yeah, just a tiny little warning.
He's just letting you know that if he needs to, he can.
He can do it. He
Yep.
has that power.
Yep.
All right. Red bee balm looking dead. Leaves dropped and moldy. Will it grow back if I cut it down and treat?
Smoking moldy. Yeah.
We talking powdery mildew?
Sounds like it. I know I've had that on mine before.
Yeah, and bee balm is one of those things. A lot of perennial type things are, if they die back down to the ground during the growing season, that is not a good sign typically. And they will, even perennials can become
Annuals.
yes, a shorter term. So it doesn't mean that they absolutely cannot come back, but that's not a good sign. And Austin, do you think that it could mean that this is perhaps in a poor location, or what would you maybe it's a soil moisture issue or lack of drainage that could be the issue?
Yeah, it's something. Obviously, I mean, we're in the prime growing season right now, so I mean, things should be growing, not going down. So, yeah. Gosh.
Are you stumped on this one, Austin?
I mean, I don't know why it would be going bad. I mean, it's bee
Maybe got
balm's a pretty
damaged or
hardy
sprayed,
plant.
oversprayed somehow.
Could have
maybe.
been stepped on and broken down. That happens a lot.
If it was something that was planted in the last few weeks and you failed to water properly, that certainly could be an issue. But you would think that it would not be. You can't both have drought or dryness issues and wet feet at the same time. It's just not possible.
No. So yeah.
Y'all be able to discern to our viewer out there who asked the question. Y'all be able to discern which side of that equation that you're likely on. It would seem as though that it's excessive moisture, and maybe it's in a spot that just doesn't drain well enough.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
Sounds good.
We
Yeah.
have we've given a definite maybe on that one. So
Great answers, everybody. All right, so we're going to move on to a gardenia question. Newly planted gardenia leaves turning yellow. Help. So I know with tropical gardenias that we have up in my area, when the leaves turn yellow, it's usually a water problem or a magnesium deficiency. So I imagine possibly, Austin, it's the same for our semi-hardy gardenias here in Middle Tennessee.
yeah, gardenias, just anytime you change any of their happy parameters, whether it's light, moisture, they're going to react. And yellow leaves kind of go with gardenias until you get them established, be that in a new container or be they in a inside location for some that are treated as tropicals or outdoors. There are some that are sold as hardy. They are, I would call them borderline. What do you think about that, Austin?
I think you're exactly right. I have not seen a gardenia here yet. Look, we sell them. We have them on deck. They're like frost-proof gardenia is a variety that we sell, and frost-proof is it's a loose term. Gardenia really likes South Carolina. They don't like Middle Tennessee.
And Mobile, Alabama.
They're fine. They'll stay evergreen through the whole winter. Here, they do not stay evergreen. Now, don't give up on them. They will lose some of some of that top foliage over the winter here, and they will bounce back in the spring. You just have to kind of wait on them. But
and it's a good plant. If you and I were talking earlier in the week, Austin, about I think you have been sent a sample olive tree.
Yes,
and that you're going to plant in your yard, and you're definitely are stepping out there because you're in an outlying area that it does get a little bit colder than it would in town. So, and they are not normally considered to be a hardy plant here, as our gardenia is not normally considered to be a hardy. But however, if you can get some of these more winter hardy cultivars in the right spot, then you do have a chance. So kind of equate it to what your plans are to do with your olive tree that you're going to put out at your house.
You know, we have a grower from Maple Valley, which is in Birmingham, Alabama. He's a really good guy, grows some really nice plants, and he has thousands of olive trees. And yes, he gave me one for free to just kind of plant in the yard. And I'm gonna see how it does. I know I've heard of a couple people in Nashville that have some olive trees planted in the yard, specifically in East Nashville. It's kind of a little pocket of warmth.
Fruit bearing?
Micro
fruit bearing?
Well, I mean, I don't know that you
Potentially.
ever get fruit on.
Yeah.
You might see some flowers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really even care about that. I just want to see if the plant will live. So
Okay.
I'm just going to literally just stick it in the yard out in the full sun as much as I can, and we're just going to see what it'll do.
And olive trees are officially the new fiddly fig now, right,
Pretty much,
Caroline?
yeah.
Yes, they are. Everybody wants them. And we just got about 20 in here at the nursery. So we're fully stocked on olive trees
3 and
for a
5
few
gallon.
days. 3 and 5 gallon. That is correct. But yeah, they're very popular. Just know they can be a little finicky in the winter when you bring them in. They tend to drop most of their leaves, if not all of them. So I've helped quite a few guests or customers this season in the spring when they thought their olive tree was dead, when in fact it had just gone dormant. And I told them to stick it out in the sun, give it a chance, and they've reflushed. So, yeah, know that you have that to look forward to in the winter.
If you're growing olives in the house, you got to know they need sunlight, like as much light as you can give them. And you need to keep them on the dry side. They don't like wet feet all the time. So, olive trees, cool plant. They look good. They're silver-ish, but they need full sun. And they don't really like our winters here all that much. But like I said, I'm going to try one. I'm going to put one in the yard, see what it'll do. And maybe it'll grow. Maybe it won't. We'll just see.
Yeah, we'll find out.
I'm muted as well.
No.
I'm mad.
Oh, Tyler.
Because I heard someone breathing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's okay. I have to do that.
That was great.
But
a heavy
these are not to be confused with the Russian olives that are invasives, right?
No, they are not Eleagnis.
Oh,
They are
Eleagnis.
They're not Illy or Agnes.
Eleagnis is the quote Russian olive. We've got a black screen over there on one side there.
Yep,
Tyler.
that's your camera, David.
That's
It grows
my
up.
favorite Mevo.
Your favorite Mevo.
Yeah.
Well,
It loves to give us a
we've
good
got
time.
a camera issue. Let's go ahead and move on to our next question.
That'll be
Okay,
great.
okay.
It's the second year of our limelight tree not blooming. Help. There's a lot of helps in these questions this morning. So, Austin?
The only
What do
reason
you
I can
think?
think a hydrangea tree wouldn't bloom would be sunlight. It's got to have a lot of sunlight for it to bloom. At least 4 to 6 hours of sun a day. So if you're not getting that, then you're probably not getting blooms. That is the only thing I can assume. Other than that, I mean, I've never seen a hydrangea tree not bloom.
They're
little bit
pretty
wild.
bulletproof, and
Yeah.
but like you say,
Must have the sun.
they got to have sun, and they should be. If they were cut back earlier, of course I've got Annabelles in my yard, and they're first cousin, but they are, as far as their application and their light likes. But and there we are. We're back.
Hey,
Yay.
We were never gone, really.
Did
We were-
it.
So yes, we do need to have sunlight on.
I'm distracted. There's a distraction
Well,
in
the garden
studio,
type
so-
hydrangeas are that people might confuse, and those are the ones they're like morning sun, but they want to be shaded during the hot part of the day. And the limelights and Annabelles and those kinds of hydrangeas are really sun lovers, and they're not going to produce well otherwise. So
Perfect. I was at somebody's house helping them plant a tree, a friend of mine, a couple of days ago, and they do have some limelights that they planted, I think 2 years ago, and they thought they were, not doing well and dying and wanted me to dig them up, but they do take a long time to bloom, so also know that. She was like, they're not going to bloom. They're not doing anything yet, but mine usually don't bloom for like another month.
A few
so.
months, yeah.
Yep.
They're a summertime bloomer, that's for sure.
They are. I love mine. All right. Can I keep dianthus in pots?
if you want to,
Yes, you can.
Of course.
Yeah.
Certainly. One thing about dianthus I will say, though, do not water dianthus in the middle of the foliage, okay? So dianthus is a little spreader, a little slow kind of ground cover spreader plant. try your best to, whenever you water that, to just water the soil around the plant, not the middle of it. Dianthus has a bad problem about dying in the middle, and I say dying, and not necessarily dying, but going brown in the middle, and that's mainly from watering in the center of the plant. So try your best to just water around the plant, not the leaves.
And people see a lot of advertising on television, and they'll see places that are perhaps seasonal plant professionals. I'll just call them that. Where they
mini market.
They take a little spray hose and they're watering, and it makes a pretty shot. But plants really don't need to have water on the foliage. They need to. I'm prepared to have gone to sleep, and Josh is astounded at that. But
I cannot believe it.
wake up, David! Wake up! I know you were up late, but anyway.
Wow.
There we go. So
it's the best radio show on television.
Yeah, that's right. And we've been working at it for nearly 25 years now, so we appreciate that.
Those rookies on the
Well, let's just
Bussin'
move
with
right
the
up.
boys, 153 podcast.
Yeah. So anyway, you don't need to water foliage per se. Now, maybe if you get a lot of dust, you want to rinse things off them, but plants don't need to have the foliage watered. They need to have the soil watered, and you get much more. A much greater benefit out of your plant, out of the water, if you get it into the ground and let the plant take it up. As it's spraying out in the air, it's
really not doing anything except raising the humidity level.
You're causing issues. You're potentially causing bad issues too. I mean, you can we're a very fungusy state here in Middle Tennessee, and if you start watering leaves and you start spreading stuff, that's how stuff spreads, is from water splashing on other leaves. So yeah, like you said, don't water leaves. Just
there was
the
a
roots.
great Bates Nursery Botanical Boot Camp on watering techniques this week as well.
Yes, there was. Ben trusted that.
Uh-huh.
And you can check that out.
And Ben is one of our fine horticulturalists here. I mean, we're really blessed to have quite a troop. And everybody gets to see Austin and Caroline every week, but Ben's another one of our mainstay go-to guys, along with Shannon and Adam and Joy, and we just have a great staff but Ben, I would really call Ben, he is he's a very technically proficient guy, as far as he loves trimming, and he's very good at trimming. And giving plants their very best treatment, I think, is one of the things that Ben excels in.
Hey, we're back.
Yeah, we are back.
Okay.
I just needed to take a little snooze there for a moment.
Well, that's okay. You were up all night, so I mean, David, they had a bit of a pump issue here at the nursery. I understand.
We did, and it's just one of those things. It's a 4:00 Friday.
Okay.
Thing, that way that if you're going to have a significant problem
where you got to go buy a part,
or multiple parts, it's really impacts you greater if it's 4:00 on Friday, when everything's closed. It may not be open again until Monday. So anyway, it was a pretty major workaround, and we're in workaround mode.
We're in major workaround mode today, y'all.
Yeah, that's just the way it is. Hey, and life just does not present things just easily. Sometimes you have to just
go with the
persevere,
flow. But you don't have a pump, so you're not flowing. So we have to go with.
No, we have a pump. The pump is flowing.
Pumping.
The pump is pumping, but we had some issues on the.
It's gonna rain.
I won't go into the contactors. We can't depend on rain here.
It doesn't matter now.
We have plants on top of the pavement.
Yes.
So their water requirements are a bit different than those would be once you get them in the ground. So, Caroline, what else you got?
Lots. All right, I have a Rose of Sharon, started as a stick. Has grown about 3 feet, but seems to never get any taller. Huh.
It's grown 3 feet, but it hasn't gotten any taller.
That's what it says.
Okay.
So it sounds like it's kind of capped out at 3 feet. They started it as, a small stick. Got to 3 feet.
Now it's a 3
It
foot
stays
stick.
there.
Yeah.
Now it's a 3-foot stick.
So is there? I mean,
I have no more answers to this question.
well, it could have gotten accidentally topped somehow. It could have been from a Rose of Sharon that stays smaller, maybe.
Might not be in full sun.
That's my thing.
Yeah, there's sun issue.
They are a shade intolerant plant, particularly if you ever want them to have flowers on them. They need all day sun, as much as you can possibly give them.
Yeah.
I love my Rose of Sharon. Actually, I have
You
two.
have a variegated variety.
I do have a variegated variety that I got last year, kind of to see if it would hold the variegation in the leaves. And yes, it did. When it leafed out this spring, it's actually more variegated than when I got it. So, yeah.
There you go.
All right. Moving on to our next question.
Okay.
Something to camouflage an above ground pool that won't have big roots or attract bees.
An aluminum pond structure, huh?
Wow.
How about a deck all the way around it?
There you go. There's something.
I'm going bananas on this one. I like bananas around the pool.
Well, I mean, they do give you that tropical kind of look.
Tropical
and
look.
You're only using, they're only up even if you use hardy bananas, and there actually are hardy bananas. Now, you're not going to get fruit off of them. That's edible anyway, but there are hardy bananas that can come up, and they look great during the growing season, and then when you're not using the pool, they look dead because they completely die back.
They do, but they don't attract any bees because they don't flower and
Right.
around here. So it's a really good coverage plant that'll kind of hide the pool and make it look tropical. And they're growing machines. Tyler,
Beg
tell
to
us
differ
about yours.
on the bee attractant, but
Yes.
that is in late fall when they actually do flower, because they flower.
Hopefully.
But
Everything
and
flowers.
and fruit. But it's really wonderful watching the bees work. The blooms are great. They get up inside them. But you're gonna want to watch your spacing if you're planting bananas near your pool, especially if it's an above ground pool, because the mound might slowly start encroaching on the pool perimeter. So make sure you have that planted. I would say at least 3 to 4 feet away
Yes.
from the pool.
And
Now,
some-
something like canna that's like more narrow and upright that you could plant that's a bulb that comes up, that might be cool to make like a perimeter with that. Maybe
Well, some
a
of
little
those
banana
flower
island
too,
or
don't
two
they?
around.
There's a lot of those flower too.
They
though.
They were
Flower.
looking for
Banana's definitely
non-flowering,
He said not attracting the bees. So,
not
I mean,
attracting the bees. Well,
But I've had good luck. I like a mixture around our pool. I've got some shrubs on one side. I've got red rocker crepe myrtles, bush form out there on one side. The above ground garden is by the above ground pool. The
Crepe
aluminum
myrtles
pond.
are
They're messy around the pool.
Yes, a lot of
They're
people hate them around their pools because of the amount of mess they make. If you just want something to give you privacy, you can plant a hedge of emerald arborvitae that will not be very attractive to the bees. It'll stay functionally the same all year long. So that's another thought, and they'll get about 12 feet tall and make a solid. If you plant them 4 feet on center, you'll have a solid green wall. If you want to go that route. So, hey, let's talk for just a moment. Speaking of planting, let's talk about how you can have the very best success in planting, and that's using Earth Mix garden products. And you'll see those banners around the studio here and up on the screen. Earth Mix garden products is developed to be, number one, a very viable soil. Now, believe it or not, there's a whole lot of soils out on the market that the only thing that you might be able to say positive about them is that they don't cost very much. However, I would contend that a lot of those are the most expensive growing media you can get because they are so poor that the plants actually regress and they don't grow in them. So Earth Mix Garden Products is very much a living soil, a very viable soil. We incorporate endo and ecto mycorrhiza into it, along with humic acid. We give the soil products organic nutrition, and that's what Mother Nature naturally provides. We just do it in a little more abundant quantities, and what you get in exchange for that is healthy, vibrant plants that require less maintenance, both from a disease and pest side, and because if the soil is better prepared, you get a lot better root growth. So check out Earth Mix Garden Products. They're available all over the Middle Tennessee and in Kentucky area. Go to earthmix.net. Click on the Find Earth Mix tab. It's on the top right there. Once you get there, you'll see that there's a map that has all the little pins all over it, and you can either put your address in to the bar here, and it'll give you turn-by-turn directions, or you can zoom in and find a location near you, like the South Branch Nursery over there in Murfreesboro, or maybe Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply, or Martin. So all great folks, great sellers of Earth Mix Garden Products. And remember this, success in gardening begins at the ground level when you use Earth Mix Garden Products, and we appreciate you taking a moment. Let's talk about that.
Earth Mix, sunshine, water, and plants. That's all you need. And you will have success.
It is
There's
a winning combination
Yes.
for certain.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, this is it's such a Saturday morning tradition, folks. I mean, please comment. Go out to the YouTube channel. Throw it up on TV in the living room. I mean, that would be the way to do it. You can sit back, have your coffee. You can comment,
Right.
run and go.
You can look at the pores in our face.
And we and our fun-
Any screen
let's do
allows.
it. Hey, let's do a live frozen shot.
We already did that, Josh. Yeah, we already did that. Okay. I know you got more questions out there, Caroline, so let's go back
get
at it.
to them. All right, garden recommendations for young children to plant and tend.
Huh.
Yeah, you have
good-
young
I've
children.
got
That's a great question
3
for
young
you.
children. Yeah, I think playing with some seeds, I think, is fun. Try out some sunflowers. Try out some zinnias. Those are some seeds that are super easy to grow and super easy to pop up. And they flower on the first season without any problem. Easy. I mean, easy to do. Don't bury the sunflowers too deep. Don't bury the zinnias too deep. Other than that, they're a pretty easy seed to grow. Drop it down, water it, and within about a week or two, you will start seeing some plants popping up. So, yeah, fun little project for kids to do, and sunflowers are beautiful.
And zinnias, you can keep cutting on them all summer. It's actually good for them. So
And there really are no bad plants for
No.
kids. I mean, I don't know if unless you consider poison ivy,
Yeah.
it would be a bad plant. I would not do toxicodendron. And Josh, you look different all of a sudden, man. What happened to you? Greg Hall, welcome in, buddy.
Hello, David.
How you
How are
doing
you?
this morning?
I'm well, thank you.
I had no idea that you were going to be here today. Pull that mic in there. You're a broadcast professional. You know, hug up to that mic and get up close and personal with it.
Indeed, I do. Hey, good to see y'all.
Good to see you. So, where are you working these days? I mean, you got dates scheduled out and about?
I
or-
go to Vero Beach, Florida this week.
And where will you be performing at?
I'll be
Vero
at the
Beach?
Riverside Theater. It's a great
Is it indeed by the river?
No, it is not. It's by the ocean. I don't know.
You know,
Their branding expert,
You know,
I'm not
what
quite sure.
Hall do for a living?
well, Greg he is an entertainer. I don't think he does any dance moves, but he both sings, he tells humorous anecdotes, and he has an interesting twist on life.
Thank you.
That's pretty close.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
that was good. Just
So-
comedy and music.
Comedy and music is the other way to say it, yes. And he's good at both of those. So he has very funny music, or he has very musical comedy.
The Bahamas was great.
Masterfully said.
Yeah,
Yes.
so when were you in the Bahamas? I know you do that every year.
I got back from the Hotel Atlantis about a week ago and was there for 2 weeks.
See, and I always heard Atlantis was a myth, and you're telling me that it's actually.
Well, Clive Cussler proved that wrong. Okay, I don't know what that means. It means that. Yeah, Atlantis is great. I missed 1 year during COVID, but I've been going there for 8 or 9 years. And,
Excellent,
yeah,
excellent.
yeah, it's a wonderful time. And I was quite satisfied being a member of the studio audience, Josh.
Well, you'll get to go back to that, but
Sooner than I
thrust
think.
into the light.
If the program starts dragging, you'll be back before you know it. So, anyway, Caroline, what do we?
I have a question.
Okay,
for
let's go with
Caroline.
your
live question.
then. All right.
Caroline, if I'm a beginner gardener in my backyard, what are the top 5 vegetables I can grow that grow well here in Middle Tennessee?
Well, my favorite to grow is cucumbers. I mean, that's easy. I just stick them in the ground and let them go. Tomatoes,
Okay.
super easy in Tennessee.
All of them are easy in Middle Tennessee. We have so many
Austin loves
veggies.
corn.
Veggies are great, sir. Squash, zucchini, cucumbers.
So long
melons,
as you have
tomatoes.
sunlight,
Yeah,
at least
sunlight
is
6
crucial.
hours, at least.
Lots
But
of
yeah.
sun. We're talking about sun a lot this episode. So,
Yeah, this is getting into okra time of year finally.
oh, that is my favorite thing to grow. It's so pretty.
Oh, her new network is so good. I watched.
No, that's I think
Okra.
that's okra.
I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Yeah, okra is one of the most fun things to grow simply because that you have to pick it about once it starts producing at least twice a day if you really want to stay on top of it. Not because they grow vertically almost parallel to the stem. So if you're not looking carefully, you'll overlook them, and then by the afternoon, it's become a baseball bat.
I was about to say,
it's crazy.
let's not sugarcoat it. Okra is a tree by the end of the season. It from seed, it literally gets 6 to 8 foot tall at the end of the season. Produces like crazy. Okra is for sure a sun lover, like for sure. It's also a beautiful flowering plant.
It's
you don't
gorgeous.
even notice it, but whenever they start to bloom, they are really something. So,
Are you growing okra this year?
No, I didn't do it.
What?
I don't.
That's a
Well,
disappointment.
our neighbor Josh over here grows okra, and he pickles it too. And I feel very special because he shares his hot pickled okra with me. And
pickled
it
okra.
I'm
is-
expecting some of that this
It
year,
is
Josh.
to die for. So not Josh Cary, my next door neighbor.
Your
Josh.
well, I'm talking
He-
that Josh now.
Okay.
So, yep. Send it on in.
Avocados here.
Avocados.
We have
Avocado,
avocado
no.
trees at the nursery, but yes, like Tyler said, avocado, no.
Avocado, no.
Berries of all kinds.
Oh yes.
Oh, blackberries, baby.
Hey, before we move on, let's talk for we talk about things that are in bloom every week, and we want to. Are you prepared to talk about that, Austin?
I'm a little bit prepared.
Okay.
Halfway prepared.
Because what I want to do is to enhance this little segment with what's in fruit right now, because we're officially in that time of year now where fruit is coming in, and we'll go ahead and start that off with service berries came in, and our very own Adam Chapman, who makes legendary service berry muffins and bundt cakes, made a bundt cake this week, and
Made a coffee cake.
coffee cake. Yeah, what's the difference between a coffee cake and a bundt cake? I wonder.
Ain't no hole in the middle, and there's streusel on top.
Look at you, Tyler.
Okay, well, see, you ask a
I
question.
love baking.
And you get it. Okay, well, and
You know
now
all
we
about it.
know.
Don't insult my hobby.
I didn't know you baked a lot.
I do.
Well, you got
I
to
just
start
don't
bringing
share
stuff
it with
in.
you.
Yeah, you.
Now
I know.
I showed up half baked this morning. I feel like, but that's a different kind. So, so all right, what else you got,
350,
Caroline?
400?
Well,
What do I have?
Yo, question wise.
Oh, well, we were gonna-
are you
I thought
still-
we were gonna
oh,
talk
We were
about-
going into what's in fruit.
Yeah.
What is in
What's
fruit?
So I want to
Oh.
say this. I want to get this in here.
get it in.
I got the plums on my fruit cocktail tree are starting to ripen already.
Look
Word?
at you.
Ripen already.
Yeah.
Okay,
I've got
so that the audience will know, you have which fruits do you have on that cocktail tree?
I have plum, apricot, nectarine, and peach. Right now, I think peach and plum fruited this year. So I have plums that are ripening. They're not very big, and it's because we haven't been getting very much water, and I haven't watered the tree. But I tasted one this morning, very tart. Still a little bit of sweetness, miraculously. And I'm trying to fend the squirrels off.
And that, of course, is possible because they are all of the same genus, which is the Prunus genus, and that way they can be grafted onto the same understock. And that would, you can't have an apple in that mixture, although
No.
you could have multiple kinds of apple trees on one. So what else you got, Austin? We got.
All right, I'm gonna go rogue here with a random tree that's blooming right now. Mulberries.
Oh, there you
hey,
go.
there it is.
We dance around the mulberry bush. They're not bushes really here.
They're a tree.
They're trees, and I literally drove up underneath one the other day, and it is full fruit. They're a great little fruit. The thing is you rarely get mulberries, mainly because birds. They come in and they get almost every single one of the mockingbirds.
Cedar waxwings are also very adept at berry picking. I mean, if you've got extra berries, just give them about 10 minutes, and God, it's back to Josh again. How did that happen?
Wow.
I want to thank Greg Hall for being on here today. Both minutes.
He needs a fruit cocktail tree in his backyard, is what he needs.
So you're talking mulberries. I'm going to throw another one out there.
Let's hear it.
Now they're about 2 weeks away. Are figs? My
Oh.
King Arthur fig, which is a prolific fruit producer. I've got at least a couple hundred on there right now, so it's really going to be exceptional once the fruit starts ripening, and when it does, you're going to get
You get 'em
8 or
all.
10 a day. So They're pretty awesome.
You know,
I
blackberries
used-
are about to go.
Yes.
I'm gonna adopt a King Arthur this morning. I think.
Are you?
Yeah, I think I am. Yeah. Maybe 2.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe 2.
We can't forget strawberries.
Yep,
They're
strawberries
going
are
strong
coming
right
on.
now.
Yeah.
Blueberries.
Blueberries is the one you definitely
Blueberries
don't
coming
want to
on.
forget.
They-
You know, and there's a shrub that if you don't have a blueberry or blueberries growing in your yard, shame on you. That's about the easiest.
Can't say that about me.
It's about the easiest fruiting plant to grow. Blueberries and figs both are just, if you've got sunshine, they're almost no-brainers, and they make nice shrubs even when they don't have fruit on them. So.
Yeah, they have multi-season interest. They have great fall
Yep.
color. They
Yep.
have beautiful blooms in the spring. They got fruit in the summer. I mean, what's not to love? We got to get some blueberries out there.
Bill Hayes is telling me that his peppers are starting to come on, and that his second crop of kohlrabi is going to be harvested.
Well.
and he had quite. If you look at the.
He posted a reel to Instagram of him cutting it up. Looks great.
Yep, and actually, if you look at his first harvest, I think there was a basket full that he got. That's the page at the Facebook page. You can see a basket of Bill's kohlrabi.
What do you
Earth
do with
mix.
kohlrabi, though? I mean, what do you
You
like
slice it up
put on
and
a
eat it
salad?
like a cucumber, right?
I guess. I don't know. It's kind of.
I don't know that I've ever eaten it either.
Austin, you got to go to chef school, buddy.
And man, it's kind of stemmy to me. It's like a broccoli
You
stalk.
sound mad at it.
I mean, it's like
Tell me
Did your
how
mom
it didn't
make you?
feel.
Did your mom make you eat kohlrabi?
no. My mom, I don't even think knows what kohlrabi is. A lot of people don't.
He's a really hard dude from the streets.
Yeah.
Bill is also another advocate for plants, earth mix, water, and sunshine. So I mean, I know
Absolutely.
That. Yep. So, but it's all starting to come around.
So-
One other fruit bloomer or butter or fruiter.
A fruiter.
Fall gold raspberry. I'm getting gold raspberries right now.
Yeah,
And the
baby.
second crop in the fall.
Wow.
It's a
Are they
great
good?
plant.
My
They
cilantro.
they are really good. They're kind of, it's like the regular raspberry, not as tart, and then something else in there, something maybe floral or
Je ne sais
citrusy.
quoi with just a
I
hint
don't know
of
how to
smoke.
say.
Yeah.
Very tasty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm fired up about it right now.
You are.
Passionate.
You
All right.
Oh, so much.
All right. Well, did we cover all the flowering things? This is the time of year where there's so much stuff that's in flower. It's kind of like, okay,
Take your pick,
Once you
yeah.
get into crepe myrtles and roses, and it's hydrangeas that just flower and flower and flower. So this is flower season. So if you
Yeah.
don't. This is a good time also to be looking if you say, okay, I've got a spot in my garden that doesn't have color. This is a good time to be looking at what's in flower in other people's garden. That way you know what you might put in yours to get you color in a specific window. So of time, I should say.
Or a door.
It's more likely a window of
Yeah, it could-
opportunity.
Oh, you can open the door to an
Yeah.
opportunity.
I think one
Yes.
of my favorite activities on a hot day is enjoying some AC in the car and driving around and looking at other people's gardens.
Well,
I like
There's-
garden peeping.
Greg Hall just walks around the yard.
window.
A little more up front.
dear, there's a tall man standing outside the.
Oh,
Respect
now I'm
the technique.
scared. All right, let's get on to more
You
questions.
should fear.
Cherry tree looks bad. Leaves are turning yellow. Any tips?
Cherry trees.
Cherry trees. Yes, Austin. Correct.
All right, so a new plant. Anytime you plant a new plant, you're going to see typically a little bit of stress. Okay, it is what it is. It's brand new. It's going to a new home. It may not have the amount of water that it needs, and cherries specifically will have some leaves that turn yellow from the interior of the plant. That's the biggest thing we need to know. If you're losing leaves from the interior of the plant, which is the leaves that are getting the least amount of sunshine, the least amount of airflow, and the least amount of water, are going to shed first. So if the long as the outside of your plant looks good, and you have 90% of your plant looks good, and you've got a few little yellow leaves that are happening, that's natural, y'all. It's just part of it. It's just a new plant. You just kind of got to live with it. It's you got to be patient. It is going to latch in.
Yeah, and late summer, I won't even say fall, late summer, it's not unusual to see a lot of cherry cultivars start going dormant early. I mean, they'll start defoliating in August.
Yeah, they're literally the first to drop their leaves,
Yes.
and they shed them through the summertime too. Sometimes on a new plant. So just
Right.
just be patient. It'll be okay.
Can't have cherries or cherry blossoms without having a cherry tree, and that's
right.
what goes with them.
You need green leaves.
Yep, you got to have green leaves. Absolutely.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Let's keep on going.
let's do it.
What tips do you have to grow the largest tomato in a contest? Asking for a friend.
Okay, I got this.
My first thing is stack the deck in your favor and compete against people who are neophyte gardeners.
Oh,
There it is.
Okay.
There's that. So, but now you go give a real answer.
I'm gonna give you a look.
Listen.
Pick one fruit.
Okay.
Let this thing start to fruit about 4 foot up from the ground. Give one single fruit.
Pick
the
everything,
ability
every
to
other
grow.
flower, everything.
Yes.
Okay, now
every other
but
thing.
Let's talk about variety of tomato. Which are you going to go celebrity? Are you going to go?
No, I gotta
Park
go bigger than
Whopper?
that. We gotta go-
You got to go big boy.
Yeah, we got to go Parks Whopper. We got to go Big Boy. We got to go Brandywine. Brandywine's a massive tomato if you let it be. But if you do select and pick every other fruit and just leave one, if you're trying to have a contest here, just one fruit and let it finish, it will be huge. But you got to pick all the rest of them.
And that's the hard part.
That is the hard part.
Because with only one fruit, it's going to be blooming probably like crazy, and so you got to be out there picking flowers off almost every day because you know every bit of energy that can go to other fruit production will, and if you can keep it all on this one, and I would say a Parks Whopper, it would not be crazy to have one excess of a pound or maybe even pushing pound and a half, would it?
Oh, what if the criteria for largest is using the diameter of the tomato?
Diameter or the circumference?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you did this right here.
You could, well, you
I
go
call
halfway.
that circumference.
Well, if you go halfway, I was
This
going
is,
halfway. But you have to have the proper measuring device to do that.
You do, yes.
It's just your hand.
Let it go.
How
What,
much?
a
How much
tailor's
does it
tape?
fill out your hand, or maybe two hands if you have to hold a tomato with two?
It's a
Okay.
big tomato right
I
there.
mean, you can do it. That's how the biggest watermelon grower. You know, when there's competitions with watermelon
Oh
growers.
yeah, they only have one on that. vine.
Only one, and they shade it. They put it on straw.
They turn it.
baby it.
Yeah, they turn it.
They
carefully.
turn it.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Okay.
you got to get rid of the other stuff though. We don't want any energy going to anything else besides that one fruit. So do
Josh,
that,
are
you'll
you
get
doing
big one.
a tomato contest?
And the good thing about if you're wanting to do that with like any kind of a squash, you don't have to do anything special. Just don't pick them.
Oh,
You'll
let's get
you can grow weapons in record time. Those things will get. I mean, occasionally we'll have people who don't understand that you need to always pick zucchini. I mean, when it's small, you don't. You know, it's got to be
'Cause they'll
young
get
and
tough and
tender,
pinky, yeah.
and they'll bring you. A treasure. You know, this is a 2 foot. You know, it's a baseball bat. You can't eat that thing, but you know you smile and you thank them.
Thank them.
And when they leave, you go to the compost heap with it. That's what you do. That's all you can do with it. So you got to pick. You know, there are certain things like squash and okra that you really have to pay attention to because they get over the hill quickly. I mean, it's hours. It's not days. So you really have to stay on top of it to make sure you get your fruit picked at the right time.
Pick your fruits.
And it also gives you a great opportunity to look for, issues that might be there. You know, pest whitefly under the leaves and mealybugs, all kinds of things that can be occurring. It gives you a much better chance to catch those things early and make them easy to take care of.
All right. Let's get one more question in.
Okay.
Comes from our good friend Miriam.
Hey, Miriam.
Hi,
Hi,
Miriam.
good morning,
Hi,
Miriam. Yay. Lawn or no lawn? The struggle is real. Any alternatives that don't take forever to establish?
Lawn or no lawn? We would need to know which side of the coin they want to come down on.
I mean,
There are a lot of great ground cover type of perennial plants.
And the area would help us too, but
ground covers are not inexpensive.
No.
One of if you like the grassy look, but you don't really want to have an actual lawn, you can and it would be expensive. Now, I'm not saying this is cheap. You could plant dwarf mondo grass or dwarf black mondo grass, or really just dwarf mondo grass, and you mow it one time a year, and that's it. And it only gets, maybe about that tall. It takes a few years to get that established, though, of any thickness. So, there's that. If you had full sun, there's a lot of different types of sedums and other ground cover type of plants that do well, that'll stay close to the ground. Or I think there's a growing trend toward people who are utilizing more of their lawn space as a front yard garden. And I think that a really well cared for square foot garden, raised planter, really makes a very attractive addition to any landscape. So there's that aspect as well.
Yeah, I mean, we can literally take up your whole lawn if you want to. We can design a whole thing if you want. I've done that before for people that said, I'm tired of mowing my grass. I don't want any of it. So we just, get all the grass out of there, and we just design a little space.
And if you've got a lot of
Build in some
shade,
pathways.
a lot of the fern like you see around, I love intensive shade garden ground covers, hostas and fern and those kinds of things that really give you the opportunity to have texture and interest and color, and except for watering, very low maintenance.
Speaking of ferns,
Yeah,
me and Caroline kind of designed this studio today based on ferns.
I think you need to talk about
We
it.
do.
So
In
many
between
ferns.
us, we have a macho fern, which macho ferns are nice. They got a thicker leaf.
Wonder why
And
they call them macho ferns.
I don't know.
They're just so macho. They're
they
big.
They are. They got a big leaf. They are macho.
I mean, is there a fern referred to as a wimpy fern?
That would be the Greg Hall fern.
Oh man,
macho.
Josh.
Low blow.
Yeah. We got to give him a mic now so he can get you back.
Oh, that's okay. He'll get me later.
I think macho ferns are my favorite out of the big three that we have here at the nursery. Boston, Kimberly Queen, which is behind you guys,
Yeah, we
right
got
in front
a-
of the TV.
Yeah, we've got a nice display all
There's
along
Vanna
here.
showing that off.
And these are easily the most. I think we probably see these in the landscape, and they're great for pots because they don't lay out so much. Boston's really hang down a lot. These will stand up a lot more before they start laying down. So if you're looking for something more upright, the Kimberly Queen's a great choice. If you're looking for something that will hang down more, Boston's a great choice. And Macho is a great choice if you're looking for something that's just
Macho.
somewhere in between. Yeah.
yeah, it's somewhere in between.
Just
Exactly
so
right.
tough. Kimberly Queens can handle the most sun out of the three ferns that we're talking about right now. Boston ferns are going to love a lot of shade.
Front porch
Front porch.
hanging baskets in the little dappled sun shady spot.
That's right.
Perfect. Southern Living magazine, baby. Boston ferns across the front.
That classic look. So in
got
front
to.
of you guys, we've got bird's nest fern and maidenhair. So those are some house plants we brought in. If you see the large leaves in the corner, right in front of David, framing his face just
Yeah.
perfectly.
yeah. If you could plant those as an annual
Absolutely.
in the shade area, but they would certainly have to come in. They will not survive the winter, but they are beautiful statement plants, and they love the swelter. I mean, that's the one thing that ferns love. They love the humidity. As long as they get moisture and have adequate drainage, and they are in the right light conditions, they're the most bulletproof of plants that you can use.
What was this one?
That one's
The maiden-
maidenhair. I would say
Oh,
that's
wow.
not quite as bulletproof as some
That was-
other ferns.
that's
She can be
the
a little bit
least.
sassy
Yes,
and
she can.
finicky. And then we also have, while Tyler is panning down low, the cotton candy fern, which is hard to see because they're all the same color, but the kind of smaller leaf.
Yeah, it's a
that
more
looks
dwarf
really-
looking.
Now, right in front of you guys, you have something that it struck my eye as I walked in the studio this morning. Is that sweet potato vine with multiple colors on it?
Oh, the old tricolor sweet potato.
Oh, I was like, we don't have that, Josh. I forgot we had it all the way up here. Yep. It's got
That
some
thing-
pink in it.
It's a growing machine. It'll live in shade. It'll live in sun. It's a fairly thirsty plant, so get ready for that.
Okay.
In the
It's
summertime,
it's a
it's
growing machine also.
Yeah, it's seriously
if
a
you
growing
give it
machine.
if you give it favorable conditions, it will really make a spread.
That's stunning, though. It
Let's
really
shift gears for just a moment here and talk
Okay.
about where we're broadcasting from today. Not the green room so much as Bates Nursery and Garden Center.
Yes.
And we invite you to come out and see us today. We know it's a little warm right now.
Yes, it is.
And we're also mindful of that. After 90 years, we try to take note of things that are important. One of the things when it's hot is people need to stay hydrated. And you'll notice that we now have our bottled water on ice at a couple of locations here, kind of in the greenhouse areas, either where the annuals and perennials are or up front near where Caroline is often found in the tropical areas. So drink water while you shop and stay hydrated because, there's nothing worse than being
a dehydrated shopper.
A dehydrated gardener.
And you can pick up your reusable dirt bottle here while you're at it too.
You certainly can.
Yes.
And also, if you are drinking the bottled water here, we've got receptacles to pitch the bottles in so we can recycle. Those are all on number one, so they can be recycled. So we're happy to provide that for you, and we're also happy to tell you that the trucks are still rolling in. If you look at our selection of annuals, perennials, trees, shrubs, ground covers, ornamental grasses, my goodness, the ornamental grasses we got in about a week ago, we still have a tremendous selection of those. And of course, tropicals galore and all the containers to go with them. And of course, all of these things grow best when you use Earth Mix Garden products, and whether it's Proganics I for indoor plants, Proganics O for outdoor planters, Landscape for soil preparation, or Earth Mix Garden if you're going to put in like a garden in the ground. All of the great Earth Mix products, of course, 100% organic and produced right here in Nashville, Tennessee. So check those out. We want you to have the best success in gardening at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. And again, we've been doing this for 90 years, so we don't do anything else. And my grandmother would, I think, be pleasantly surprised to see where all we've come after our Emerald Anniversary, what I like to call it. So thank you to Nanny. As we refer to her.
She would be very proud. I never knew that.
And I want to also give a shout out to my brother Mark, and we're having a little get together for Mark. Mark is retiring. His garden center out on the south side of town, he shut it down last fall, and so after I think 32 or 33 years, Mark shut his garden center down. So congratulations, Mark. He had a tremendous run out there in Brentwood, and
it was a great spot.
Yes,
it really
very good
was.
spot.
Yeah.
So anyway, come out and see us at Bates Nursery and Garden Center, where we're located 1 mile north of Briley Parkway at exit 19 on Whites Creek Pike. It's just minutes from Rivergate, Opry Mills, Nashville West, downtown Nashville. And it's worth the drive from anywhere, even Brentwood. We have a lot of folks come from Brentwood. And everything we sell, almost without exception, is available to purchase online should you desire to. So you can actually, if we're closed or if you're just not able to get out, peruse our website. You can place your order there. You can either schedule delivery straight from there or for you to pick it up. So check all that out at batesnursery.com. Beautifying Nashville since 1932.
Got rose bushes too. Boy,
yes, we do.
You need to, folks. I was out again walking the lot this morning before the show. I was sneaking around and looking. You got to look at all
blocking the road. Actually,
yes, I was.
I kept waiting for you to drive through, so I just had to drive.
Well,
around.
you were incognito in the plant element this morning. So
I was in my little work site vehicle.
But you got to find the little nooks and crannies because there's stuff hidden. I mean, it's amazing the amount of product that you guys have got. But the rose bushes, I mean, they're in 3 different places right now. There's so many of them.
And 2 different places.
Any just about any color under the planet that you want to see.
I've got to talk about one plant that we got in yesterday because I have to help get rid of it.
Yep.
You have to.
Yeah, I have to.
Because now you have to water it.
It's a challenge.
It's pineapple guava. We just got in a dwarf variety called Bambina. It's a wonderful plant. I just planted mine in a pot yesterday. I was only looking for one, but we got 12. So come on down and get it. It's edible. You can eat it right off the plant. It's a great looking bush. The leaves are kind of like green on top and this lovely silvery green on the bottom, like an olive tree. What more could you want?
Okay.
Come on down and get
This
one.
message is brought to you by Tyler.
All right, let's get a couple more questions in. My pothos is growing out of control. What do I do?
What about your athos and
Cut
your
it.
porthos?
Give it a haircut. So they will start to trail, especially if they're not getting a ton of direct sunlight, which they don't really like to. They'll trail and reach, for sun, and they'll get really, really long. So you can cut it back. You can strip the leaves on the lower part of that cutting, and you can stick it in water and then make a lot of new plants. And it could be time to repot it as well. So choose one or the other. Either repot it, wait, and then cut it back, or cut it back, give it a little while to push out some new growth, recover from that shock, and then your pothos will be happy and it won't be so out of control anymore.
Don't be scared to cut stuff.
Pothos. Okay. No, okay.
Were you saying don't be scared to cut
Don't
on
be
plants?
Darth
Yeah,
Canyon.
don't be scared to cut stuff. Cutting stuff is kind of a rejuvenator,
fun.
if you will. Yeah, and it's fun for you. It's nice for the plant. They really like to, get a haircut and then re-push new growth.
Yeah,
and you'll
now
see different things.
because we have to qualify that a little bit. So, I'm gonna get here and top my ferns back. Well, that's not a good idea.
No, not the ferns.
Not a good idea.
No.
There's certain things that like to be cut back more than others. I like to experiment with my house plants. I actually chopped one of my fiddle leaf figs in half just to see what would happen.
Oh, it'll come
It-
right back.
Yeah, it came right back. It did take a while because I cut it back in, I believe it was September or October, right when it was starting to slow down on its growth, and I wasn't fertilizing it anymore. And it took until mid-April for it to start pushing out new growth. So
Awesome.
it's fun to just play with your plants.
Well, we're coming up on the last few minutes here.
Yeah.
Let's go. Here we are. Can I keep my sweet olive small? Probably 5.5 max, or is it not a kind thing to do to it? So we
Sweet
just
olive.
talked about that.
Probably sweet. Is he talking about sweet autumn clematis?
It
or
says olive.
Sweet-
Sweet olive, maybe tea olive, osmanthus.
That could be.
That
I have one and I love it.
Spell check.
Yeah,
Okay.
But yes, we were just
Again,
talking about
go-
cutting.
again, go back to trimming,
Osmanthus
yes.
fragrans.
okay.
So
Yes.
fragrant olive.
Yes, you can certainly keep that in. If you do that, you're going to make it this little like kind of evergreen shrubby guy. It'll be like a hedge. It won't be, because they can be kind of a smallish tree / shrub, if you will. But yes, most certainly you can keep it in that 5 to 6 foot range. You just got to make sure you cut it. You
Got
gotta
a
keep
quick one
topping
here
them out.
on the Facebook page as well. Heather wants to know a question for y'all. My pretty pistachio heuchera all look like this fungal disease. Burned from too much sun? Bacteria? Thanks.
Well, don't
Hard
think
to-
it's yet.
No attached photo.
Yeah, hard to say
don't
with
see
it.
one there.
Well, definitely those kind of lime greeny heucheras will certainly burn in the sun. So that would be my first guess, but over something like bacterial or fungal. It could just be mechanical, which is just the sunlight. I mean, too much of that's gonna make the plant look a little rough.
Yep.
So may need to move it.
You'll see some bleaching and some browning.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Okay, doke.
I know that from experience.
Oh, do you?
Certainly do.
All right, let's get one more question in.
Okay.
Do you have to prune lantana for it to keep blooming all summer?
Negative. Although it does help to deadhead. Always. Anytime there's spent blooms out there, go ahead and pick them off. Lantana's no different. It blooms a lot, so there is a fair amount of deadheading involved with lantana. So
For me, I'm not a deadheader. I'm a shearer.
Yeah.
I take head shears and trim them back, make it look like sticks. It'll bust right back out of there and be more beautiful than it ever was before. So, but if you like just picking at stuff, you can deadhead.
Pickety, pickety, pickety.
yeah.
There it is. We do have one more question,
Okay.
and then we've gotten to all of
Alright.
them for today. How do I get rid of invisible pests in soil? Said that kind of
Invisible.
weird, but I think you got
Invisible
the idea.
pest in soil.
Invisible
How do you know they're there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't
How
see
do
'em.
you know they're there?
Are they also imaginary?
Well, I know with houseplants, when you get pests in the soil, I always suggest changing it out. So if it's a houseplant issue, it's going to be a little bit easier, obviously. I also will flush my soil with a hydrogen peroxide water solution. to
What
kind of
ratio
fill-
would you be using?
I usually use one
She
to
uses
one.
H2O and H2O2.
There it is. Yeah. So that's what I do with my houseplants. Now, if it's something in ground, I don't know, Austin.
All sorts of things in the ground.
There's so many things in the
But
ground.
if it's invisible, is it an issue?
Yeah, not everything that's in the ground is a bad thing.
No,
you know,
voles and moles are one thing, and then but earthworms and other things are not.
So a lot of people just don't like there to be anything in there that they didn't expect. So but soils are frequently host for a lot of other things, and those other companions can be beneficial. So
Funguses are a good thing to have in your living soil in a lot of cases.
Sometimes.
hey,
All righty, folks. The music means that this edition of the At Home program is coming to a close, but we do want to thank you for participating.
Greg Hall, thank you.
Yes, we had a surprise Johnny Carson visitor in here again, but he's welcome anytime he wants to come.
We'll bring in the great Karnak next time.
Go to Funkin' Magnum's porch and seal it up. But folks, go out to YouTube, like the page, subscribe. Go out to Facebook, like and share, and ring bells. Do everything you can. Share it and let everybody know that.
Are there pom poms that you can shake or anything else?
There probably could be.
I guess so.
We could put some stuff up. If you want to post there, we do see those all through the week. So we're going to be here for you. Stay tuned. I'm sure the BNBBC will be around. It's simulcast on the At Home Show page now as well as the base page. Hey, folks, we thank you. And invite you to come out here to Bates Nursery and Garden Center. It's 3810 Whites Creek Pike. It's 0.9 miles north of
9 to 4 today,
Yep.
noon to 4 tomorrow.
You got to come see it. Folks, thank you. We'll see you here next Saturday morning for the At Home Show.